Good afternoon, guys, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. Welcome to the channel, especially if you're new here. We're going to talk about a few things today that we overall discussed over the weekend, but we're going to see if those things were able to form. And we're just going to have to jump right into it. So let's just get started because I'm on a bit of a time crunch. Let's go back and actually start where we're supposed to start. The Qs have a very good point here that I'm going to make in a second. It is telling you something to pay attention to tomorrow, but for the SPY, let's get you guys some daily expected moves. We see here 673.98 to the upside for the SPY. We have 657.36 to the downside. And the cool thing about these ranges is you can tell when things are starting to open up, when volatility is really starting to come back in and you're about to see some snapback kind of moves. Well, it's when these things are spreading out, and that's what you got. You got a big 68% zone going into tomorrow. Now, we want to see if this 2-hour is going to confirm up, and if you recall why, it's because the Qs overall were suggesting we don't have a top just yet. At least we don't have the, what you would want to say, highly probable signals, highly probable type of moves that you would see at a top just yet. It's saying we could potentially go one more. So we're watching this 2-hour very closely for the SPY to see if the daily chart can curl up while it is still in positive territory and can make a move to 700. Overall, just reviewing some things that we were discussing over the weekend, but we are trying to dictate, hey, can this be a higher low for the 2-hour? And that would tell us the daily is highly probable to turn up here. So the big thing here is, can we get a hint? And did we get the hint, or one of the hints that we were looking for over the weekend? Did we get it from the 30-minute chart? And the answer is yes, you did. Now, we got the riskier one, right? We don't really, Bulls would say, hey, the bears are definitely in control. As long as we are rolling below this 5-day moving average, it is risky for downside. But if we are able to catch ourselves here and confirm a divergence, then that can really save this market. And volatility is saying something very critical about tomorrow. And we have an 85% chance of a certain something happening tomorrow. So stick with us towards the end where we get into volatility. We're just going through SPY, Qs, and some volatility today. But we do see that one of the things we were paying attention to was a higher low, above, like breaking above the 5-day and coming back for that higher low. Didn't get it. What did we get? We got the other one we were paying attention to, meaning bears are in control as of right now. But we have set up a divergence point that if we are able to see something a little surprising tomorrow, able to curl up on this MACD, you do have somewhat of a divergence, very minimal, I would say, on the MACD, but pretty significant on the RSI. So the divergence we are paying attention to is there. It has not confirmed. And I even watched in the shorter time frames, and nothing in the shorter time frames was telling me a hint that this was going to confirm tomorrow. This will be purely something to react to going into tomorrow's session. If we do, or if someone decided to take positions here, well, one, it's the end of the year. We've been talking about how hopefully you are managing that risk, downsizing those positions, not ruining a year's worth of trading, trying to make big bucks for Christmas. But instead, you're going, hey, I'm going to downsize those positions and trade when the trade is there. That's what overall I am doing. And that's just what I've been telling people because, hey, that's what I happen to be doing. But if I see a divergence and I like it, I might want to take it. This one, though, did not give me the hints on the shorter time frame, meaning if I took it, I would be taking on a lot more risk. I would be taking on something that hasn't confirmed yet, when tomorrow we could see that confirmation. And then with that confirmation could just be a trade setup to take this to the weekly expected move. That's overall what I wanted to discuss with the SPY to start things off. And there is a slight difference with the Qs. So let's get over there on the 30-minute chart and get you guys daily expected moves, right? We do see a big range here, 613.91 to the upside, 593.41 to the downside. Remember the bear thing. The bear thing here is simple. We don't confirm this to the upside. We have no conversation for the bulls, right? We are rolling and rolling and rolling below the 5-day moving average, right? A lot of people would probably say cup and handle at this point. We broke the low. This is not a good thing. But the Qs have made a very significant divergence right here on the MACD for the 30-minute. It has made it very significant on the RSI as well. So if the 30-minute can turn up here for whatever reason, take out these levels, and really, you would like to see the Qs taking out that 625 level. But if you can take this back and start making those higher lows, this divergence might tell you that the 2-hour chart is going to reverse around. And if the 2-hour chart is able to reverse around, remember what we were paying attention to with the Qs. The fact that up in these areas, it was risky. And we talked about what down in these areas if we saw a drop. you look for the potential 2-hour divergence in this area, right? You look for that 2-hour divergence. We do see it on the MACD. We see it on the RSI. We should be prepared for this days in advance as this forms. You now have 30-minute divergence and 2-hour divergence at the same time, which means if these things start to confirm, you can see a chain reaction that can tell you when the daily is highly probable to turn up. While it is above the center line in positive territory. This is all very, very good things from the market, as the Qs were not able to create the divergence on the MACD and RSI at the same time, but a flat divergence on the RSI, nothing on the MACD as it got wiped out. We are paying attention for one more chance to move up here, one more move to set that divergence point to really trap people with the bulls, because we have overall been in fear this whole time. So this is really what I'm paying attention to. And if tomorrow we don't see a confirmation to the upside, then the bulls most likely didn't show up, and we're going to continue rolling potentially into December. That would be a scary time. So as of right now, you're looking for the 2-hour to confirm for the Qs. That would mean the 30-minute with the spectacular looking divergence here. It just doesn't look good in the really short time frames, but it is very, very significant. If that is able to confirm, you can start a chain reaction and go make a new all-time high. The Qs a little bit lower, so they can make the lower high, which is usually what the Qs do at a major top. We'll be watching for it. But now it's time to get into volatility. Why are we talking about that upside? Well, we're talking about that upside because the signals we're paying attention to are there, and if we want to keep rolling, that's bearish. But if we want to reverse around, now might be the time. And you might see that volatility was up by 12.97%. That means that volatility is saying, I'm up by 10%. Which means that tomorrow, right? Tomorrow we have an 85% chance for an up day for the SPY. So that tells us a lot going into tomorrow. Now, if we do see a significant up day from the SPY in the next 2 trading sessions, because technically the stat is that volatility, when it is up by more than 10%, you will see a up day in the market in the next 2 trading sessions with an 85% probability. That being said, we need to pay attention to if that bounce is tomorrow and if it is rigorous, because you have 2-hour divergence here on volatility, on the MACD, on the RSI. All of it is significant, which means we can see what? A daily move to the downside if these things confirm. Now, what about the 30-minute chart? It's showing that as well. So when these signals for volatility, usually anything that trades more than just regular trading hours, I do kind of mess with the time frames at certain times. Since this is extended for the 30-minute and the 2-hour is showing it, I would use the hourly chart as a good indicator if for a confirmation here. We did not see volatility confirm this today. This is something we'll have to react to tomorrow. I want to be very clear with that in this video, that signals have not confirmed. Therefore, if you're just taking this, that means you saw the potential for a divergence to confirm, but it isn't just yet. So let's get into the main takeaway here. If the hourly chart is able to curl down here, if we are able to curl up here for the 30-minute chart and then the 2-hour chart for the SPY and the QQQs, well, if all these things are confirming and all these things are bullish and we see a big enough move, we can be right back on the bull and heading to 700 over the next couple of weeks. So I wanted to point that out. If we want to keep rolling, that will be the bearish thing. So as of right now, I would pay attention if you need to react to this 30-minute divergence confirming tomorrow. We'd be looking for it to try to take back that 5-day, set some kind of higher low to get to that weekly expected move. And then we'd be looking for the 2-hour chart confirmation as well to tell us what? Tell us that the daily is highly likely to curl up with this confirmed 2-hour higher low. So let's see if we can make that last move higher. It looks like tomorrow is going to be one of the last days for the bulls to try to step in. So let's be on our toes and make sure we're trading like water. Hey, I thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it's kind of a quick one, but I wanted to make sure to get this info out to you guys as implied volatility is going up. If you're interested in learning and things like that, I'm not shouting it out from the rooftops, but I did just put an early bird Black Friday sale for the technical analysis course, the full technical analysis course down there. If you want to grab that, you want to learn a little bit, I totally get it. But if you just want to stick around, like the videos, and get some information from me, that's perfectly fine. And I just hope that it ends up helping you out in some way. Have a great rest of your night, guys. Peace out.